Hey everybody, guess what? I told you were in for a surprise. We are going to do last one standing review. Debbie can't join us because she's super busy, but I do have a special guest. Da 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 da. That was my drum roll. I'm Malu, and I have
Gabe.
yes. And if you are a real fan of Naked and Afraid, you know Gabe, right?
I like to think so.
Yeah. So I would like to say that you're probably like the number one super fan. What do you think?
I'm probably the number one superfan who will never be on a challenge, or who never wants to be on a challenge.
I said the same thing. I don't know.
I mean, we'll see. I'd like to think I know a lot. I've done pretty well on the trivia games hosted by the Misfits on Facebook. I think I know what I'm talking about some of the time.
I'm 100% convinced that Gabe is the number one super fan. He knows everything. So, and that's why I invited him on there. Not only is he smart, not only is he sexy, he is also the number one super fan.
Thank you.
I'm going to go over the contestants and then you tell me what you think, okay?
Okay.
So let me open up my cheat sheet here. I have my phone. Number one, we have Matt.
Yes, the Savage.
Yes. And he's rated at 9.7. We're going to go through all of these numbers in just a second. We have Kai.
Yes, Australian.
Yes. And then we have Laura,
The Queen.
the queen. And then we have Max.
The Contender.
All right. Now, let me just tell you, I knew Max was coming back. I had a suspicion, but I knew he was coming back. Remember on Ernie's challenge, he made an appearance and he never makes appearances?
Oh yeah, where he had a bunch of the fan challengers turn legend survivalists, and Max was one of them.
Yes, I knew right then and there 100% Max was on the show. Then we have Patrick.
Legend Slayer.
He is the Legend Slayer and he is a fighter. He likes to pick little fights and I like it. I mean, he's really challenging these legends, so he's definitely one that I'm looking out for. And then we have Darren.
The real deal, back for redemption from last season.
Yes, he is the real deal. And then we have one of the females, Trish. What do you think about Trish?
I think that she deserves less hate online, and I think she's good for drama, and she was sassy to Dan, so I'm like, but I'm not gonna be like, I don't like her that much. I think she's good for drama, and she has the skills and can be sneaky.
Yes, and I think the show turns her into drama. Not necessarily that she's drama, but they have a way of switching things around. So I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And then we have Kayla C, the knife maker.
The Huntress. I'm really
Yes.
excited that she's back.
I loved on the little sneak preview, she had her dad on there, and her dad is just adorable. I'm in love with her dad. And then just to make it more confusing for me, we have Kayla H.
Kayla with an E. She is the dark horse.
Yeah, she is the dark horse. And then we have someone who I think is very interesting, Trent. What do you think about Trent?
I'm interested to see how well he's gonna do because he's tough. He survived malaria, but will that translate into like competitiveness and being able to like get through these challenges?
Right. And then we have, now listen, I love her, but I also hate her because she got some honey in her mouth, and that's Chini.
Jeannie, I think that she's, gosh, I'm trying to remember like the this, but yeah, she's tough, and I know. Okay,
Yes. And I'm just jealous because she is with Dan. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. And then we have the guy that I cannot understand. I'm sorry. I know I have a country accent, but we have Jamie, and he's gotten on to me for saying his last name wrong. Can you say his last name?
Frizzell.
That's just me being country. And he's like, no, no, no. And he was highly offended by that. So I will not be saying his last name. I'm just going to be saying Jamie.
He's the wild man, and he's from Scotland, and I can't wait to hear more of his accent.
Oh, that was pretty good. That was okay. And then we have Suzanne. Suzanne. And she's a little controversial, I think, also. What do you think?
I agree with that. Oh, it was really funny. During the sneak peek, we got two little cameos from Seth because he was in Mac's little like flashback and in Suzanne's because they had little arguments and stuff. But I think that Suzanne is very kind of set in her ways and probably was in a position where she was like looked down upon and mansplained to a lot, most likely. And so, kind of her being in that scenario, she's just like, you know what? I'm going to take charge. If we're going to butt heads, we're going to butt heads. I know what I'm doing. And if you don't want to listen, that's fine. You can fail, but I'm going to like try my best and do my best in this challenge kind of thing. That's kind of.
Yes, yes. And then we have bum 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 the Black Cowboy. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Now,
exciting.
let's talk about controversy because I love the Black Cowboy and they've already done made me mad. Last one standing producers, Naked and Afraid. How in the heck are you going to give the Black Cowboy a 7.5 and have the lowest PSR? I do not understand. Make it make sense, Gabe, because I'm not understanding.
Well,
I'm mad.
here's the question: who do you think should have a lower PSR than him?
I think, now see, now you're about to get me in trouble, but I don't care. I'm going to say definitely Trent, number one, but definitely he should be higher than Suzanne, Jamie, up there with Kayla and Kayla, but definitely higher than Trent.
Yeah, I think maybe it might be with his challenge day since he has like the least number of challenges. He's only done a 21, and then he did the 14-day Frozen challenge. Maybe I think he'll make it a good way, so hopefully it'll bump up to about an 8.0 during the season. Maybe I think he'll make it a good way, so hopefully it'll bump up to about an 8.0 during the season.
I don't know, but I remember on one of his challenges, he was walking up and they heard something and he had to protect like the cameraman. He was like, hang on. Then he had that rabbit and I don't know. Maybe I'm just in love with him too much. Black Cowboy, you're number one on my list. Do I think you're going to win? Unfortunately, I do not. Who do you think is not going to win, Gabe? Tell it like it is. Who do you think is not going to win?
Well, I've been doing a lot of speculation, and do you want to hear who do I not think is going to win, like in a survival aspect or based off the trailer aspect?
Whatever one you want to.
Okay, because well, I think that like the top four PSRs like Matt, Kai, Laura, and Max have a really good chance. And of everyone else, I think that Darren and maybe Chini have a really good chance of like at least making it to the finals. Everyone else, I'm sorry, just going off the trailers and stuff, because again, I'm not a survivalist and I don't want them to be like, well, you have no idea what you're doing. But I'm like, based on what I've seen in the trailers, based off of like in the past in the PSRs, I think that Matt, Kai, Laura, Max, Darren, or Chini may win. Everyone else, I unfortunately will push to the I don't think they're going to win.
Bye-bye, sorry. And Gabe is an expert. I understand what you're saying. You don't apologize for not being a real survivalist anymore because you are a armchair survivalist and I think you're an expert. And you analyze everything just smart. So I agree with you. Unfortunately, I wish that the Black Cowboy could win. I don't think he will. Neither do I think Suzanne will win. I don't think Suzanne will win. So it is what it is. Now, who do you wish would win?
Gosh, I don't really have a preference, but if I had to choose one person, I'm sorry, everyone else, I would choose Matt.
Okay.
But I know
You
that
want Matt to win because why? Because he's the best of the best?
I think that in terms of, just watching him do his challenges, he makes everything look easy. He's just like, oh, look, an animal. And we have dinner. Oh, look, an animal. We have more dinner. He had a torn calf muscle and he got second. Unfortunately, the torn muscle got worse and he unfortunately got eliminated. But I think without that, he would have made it far.
I'm going to twist this around for you, okay? You ready?
Okay.
What would you think how people would feel about Matt if he doesn't win? Because, he's been on the show. I mean, come on. You didn't win the first time. He's the greatest of the great. And what do you think about Matt haters? Are there Matt haters out there?
Going back to the Matt haters, I help run the True Fans of Naked and Afraid Facebook page, and there are a lot of comments about that, and it's mainly because of the controversy around, I have to bring it up, I know people are going to be cheering when I say his name, but it was the controversy with Jeff that kind of led to people, I'm sorry, but it was at that moment where people started turning on him, because before that, everyone would sing his praises, but the moment that happened on Last One Standing, people were like, so I can see a lot of people, if he were to get eliminated, they would be like, oh, yeah, he's so overconfident. This is not my opinion, but I could see people saying like, he's overconfident, he's arrogant. Of course he didn't win. I'm happy he didn't win, because I've seen a lot of people being like, oh, for stouts, I want Patrick, Trish, and Matt to be the first stout because Matt's arrogant and stuff. And I'm just like, okay. So
let me tell you, I love the controversy. I need the excitement. Hello, people, it's TV. So we need a little bit of excitement. We need some bumping of the heads. We need the Matt lovers. We need the Jeff lovers. We need them to clash. So I don't mind all that. I love it. And a lot of people didn't like it. They were like, this is not what Surviving or Naked and Afraid is about. But this isn't Naked and Afraid. This is Last One Standing on Naked and Afraid. So get ready because we're going to be tough. I'm going to be super tough. I don't know about Gabe. Gabe has more love. I don't know. I'm more of a fighter. He's more of the lover. So, but I'm ready for these people to go head to head. You go. So what about the women? Do you think that there's going to be any controversy between the women? And if so, do you think who's going to band and who's going to butt heads?
I think during some of the previews, we see kind of Laura and Kayla H. They're kind of neck and neck in the first challenge. And I'm sure they could have a decent rivalry, but I could see them editing where it's more one-sided, even though, editing. The edit is real, everybody. I know what you may think, but the edit is real. And I can see kind of Kayla H talking about, hey, I may not have as many days, but I can keep up, if not be better than someone who may have more experience than I do. In terms of butting heads, well, I think Suzanne and Trish could get along really well, but I could see Trish maybe clashing or maybe with Cheney. I don't know, because or just I can see someone saying the wrong thing and then it's like, oh, I can't believe she said this to me or something like that. But
I'm a Southern gal. My original first partner, Kyle, he's from up north, a Massachusetts kind of area, and so is Trish. So I think it's a different type of personality sometimes. That it's not that you're actually butting heads. You just have really bad communication skills that mesh well together. And the edit is going to capitalize on every single opportunity for those butting of the heads. That's what makes it a competition. So are you more about competition or are you more about family Boma?
I think Last One Standing was such a big change because on XLs, when you have big groups, everyone kind of has to work together. And if you try to be against someone,
unless you're Jeff.
What?
I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? I said unless you're Jeff. On XL, Jeff, it still keeps it, competition.
Exactly. But usually it's so together, but on Last One Standing, it was kind of like a camaraderie thing. But then they're like, okay, once it's a competition, it's a competition. And I guess it depends on underhanded tactics. If someone's doing underhanded tactics or being two-faced, oh yeah, we'll work together, or if Bonegate happens again and whoever found the trail first keeps that trail or whatever. But if they're potentially wanting to backstab or saying things behind the other's back that's kind of mean.
Yes, I'm going to interrupt you here because you trigger something in my head. My number one complaint about this show are the rules. The rules are not clear enough. They're not, expressed enough. And I know that they're probably saying things in the background, but let's talk about the rules. I want tight rules this time because like you said, Bonegate, you know what? Steven was able to pick up on her, bone trail. Nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. They didn't make it very clear, but if it's a competition, the rules. The competition about taking the water in the bamboo, remember that?
Oh,
that was not clear.
Yeah, because Jeff and Gary, they took the gourd with them and filled it up because they're like, well, I'm not putting it in the water. And it's just and people were saying they're cheating, but when I was doing
it was smart.
It was, yeah.
But was it in the rules?
Yeah, it's those the loopholes in LOS1 were this big. Luckily for LOS2, it's right here. Hopefully soon it could be right here, and so no one can find an easy way out.
Exactly. So let's look out for the rules. Now we already have the Boma set up, right? So in the first Boma we have Trent, Trish, Suzanne, and Patrick. There's 4 of them in that one. What do you think about that one, that combination?
Let's see. Trent, Trish, Suzanne. It depends. Well, I think Trish and Patrick got along well with Jeff, so I don't see why they wouldn't get along well with the others. Trent is really nice, so I think that he could get along with everyone. I think the only pairing that I would be I think Patrick would needle at Suzanne because he's just because no shade to Patrick, but he can needle people, and I can see he could probably be pushing her buttons. He's this makes her mad.
Needler. Yeah. That's his new name. He likes to poke and prod the needler, but it's a great guy, but the needler. Okay, what about, we can't talk about Trent without talking about the boogeyman or Bigfoot. We cannot not talk about it.
I mean, I remember like that was never brought up again after his first episode, I don't think, unless they mentioned it briefly on the XL he was on. But
Well,
yeah,
we're going to talk about it.
okay.
I'm going to try to get a clip of him being afraid of Bigfoot right here. Let's see if we can drop it here. But listen, if you believe in Bigfoot, you have to believe in Bigfoot. Bigfoot all the way. There's no half stepping. It's like, maybe it's this, maybe he doesn't. If you believe that crazy mess, believe it with all your heart. And so I'm not going to dump on him for believing because I felt like he really, truly believed like in his heart.
Yeah. I just thought it for the first time ever when he was like, I hear noise, and he like called the producer, or he called the crew, and he's like, I need help out here. And so that was a new thing. But I mean, I wonder.
Hang on. So this is something I'm gonna start with you. Now that I've been on the show, whenever I call back scene, I'm gonna give you when you say something, I'm gonna give you the insight to it. How about that? Okay. So you said when he called the producers at night. Let me tell you, that is a huge thing. I mean, it's huge. I can't even imagine calling the producers at night or calling the crew in. I mean, to get them out there. I mean, that is desperate times for desperate measures. That's not something that's easily done.
Quickly say it's like Bigfoot found me here in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, but it's great TV. Hey, it is great TV. Oh. Jeannie, Matt, and Max. What do you think?
That's like a power team right there. I would fear that team because Matt's like he's the savage. Max, he's very athletic. He goes snowboarding all the time, and he's like running around and on these challenges like it's nothing. And then Chini had her SERE SERE training, so they're a tough groups, and I don't think that they would like fall apart. I think they would be like.
So you don't think that there can be any, and of everything that you've looked at, you don't see any controversy between Max and Matt?
I think if Matt got super snippy with Max, then it might cause issues like on Max's 21 day challenge with Seth. It was just kind of Seth was like was bringing in a lot of negativity, and Max was like, I don't want to deal with this. But I don't see Matt complaining, and I don't see Chini complaining at all. Maybe there could be like, or maybe it's one of the things where it's like they said something, it's like, oh, what did you mean by that? That's like the only thing that I can think of, like off the top of my head, that would like cause any kind of controversy between those three. But I think they are very strong.
I think they're very strong. I don't know, but Max seems I'm number one. Matt seems a little bit more humble, but he knows he's number one. So I don't know. It could. If I was a producer, I would want to put them together just to see if they could butt heads. I think there could be a possibility.
Maybe Patrick can come in and run in and be like, Max said this, and then runs away, and Max.
Yeah, the needler. Patrick,
Exactly.
we got our eyes on you. All right, so number 3, we have the Black Cowboy. We have Kayla C and Kayla H. Jesus, they got the two Kaylas together with the Black Cowboy.
I can see Jermaine I can see maybe Jermaine and Kayla kind of maybe butting heads because it's kind of like a who's the leader kind of thing. Kayla H is a very strong competitor, but I don't see her being like trying to step on any toes. She's very quiet and has a quiet confidence kind of thing, but I could see Kayla just being like, or Kayla and Jermaine maybe.
Well, don't you remember when Black Cowboy was with Sarah and he had to put Sarah in her place? He was like, I'm going to have to go talk to her. You don't remember that?
I do remember that. Or wasn't it about the fish trap, or was it about Sarah was just talking and Jermaine was like, stop?
I think it was because of everything. Sarah was taking forever and a day to make a fish basket. Now we have Jamie, Laura, and Darren. That seems like a dream team, kind of, don't you think?
Yes, I think Jamie, he's a good forager, he's a good fisherman, he has a great accent, so you'll never be bored. And Laura, of course, is like one of the top female survivalists of the franchise. And Darren is he only lost 6 pounds on his 21 day challenge. He was like another rat, and
Oh, I left out Kai. Sorry, Kai's in this group too.
so yeah, this team will have no problems.
Yeah, none.
But maybe I know on XL2, my memory, I didn't really watch that one unfortunately, but I know Darren and Steven kind of like Darren may have been saying stuff that wasn't true about Steven to try to turn people against him. But
Yeah. Doesn't Darren have some personality issues as far as getting along with others, or he's more solitary? Is that right or is that wrong? I kind of have that in the back of my mind a little bit.
well, last season when he was with Patrick and Kai, there didn't seem to be many issues. The only thing was that when they were shooting like the bow and arrow to try to get it through the tiny hole, he was kind of hogging it a little bit.
Yes, yes. All right, so name your winner. Who's winning last one standing 3? Who's the winner? Call it now.
Gosh, I'm usually wrong, but my vote is for Matt.
Your vote's for Matt, okay?
What
Well,
about you?
I'm not going to say Matt just because you're saying it. So now I'm going to choose somebody different. I'm going to go for, oh my gosh, if Kai won, that would be kind of obvious, would it not? Where is she from?
Australia.
Where are they at?
Australia.
Well, then I'm going to go with Kai because she's a bad A. But I'm going to go with Kai and you're going to go with Matt.
And I am a little bit worried about Kai this season because in the sneak peek, she does mention that she had major surgery 5 weeks before the challenge.
First to leave.
Oh gosh, I did extensive research on this, but I believe that it's going to be a double elimination similar to last season, but instead it's going to be on day 2 and not on day 1.
This is where you get all the scoop, y'all. Listen to Gabe. He is so smart. He does his research. All right, so tell me who's doing the double elimination. Who's going home? Break my heart.
I'm sorry to everyone who's listening. I'm sorry to the fans of these people, but I think that Trent and Kayla C will be the first 2 to leave this challenge.
Wow.
I'm
Heartbreaking.
sorry.
I can totally see Trent going home soon. Kayla C going home would be a little bit of a surprise because I do respect her. She is a real survivalist. Shock.
I'm sorry.
But somebody has to go home.
Exactly, and I'm just going off of the trailers that I've seen. I watched like the first trailer and did like a trailer count, and I'm just going off of like, okay, like this is at this point, like who's not seen that much, context clues and stuff. And I believe they said that after the first challenge, the 2 last place finishers on the men and the women's team will face a sudden death elimination. And there's scenes where you could see 4 people like trying to set a row of grass on fire. And so that's kind of where I'm like getting this assumption from. It's not trying to say like, oh, I don't think they're great at these, or I don't think they're great survivalists or whatever. This is just purely based on like research that I've done, and like after I'm a scientist, after thoroughly like looking at the footage, this is what I've gathered. And
Right. So this is what this season's last one standing review is going to be about. It's going to be about what we see, a little bit of judging the people on the TV show, and we know that there's an edit. So please take that in mind, take it with a little grain of salt. And then also spoilers. Y'all, we're going to have spoilers. I mean, I think he just gave a really good spoiler. Y'all pay attention to the details, the devils and the details. I've already had a great time, and I've already learned a lot the first show.
happy to be of assistance. Thank you so much for having me, you gorgeous, gorgeous young lady.
Yes, so from me and my co-host, Oh Heck Nah is out with our review. Peace.
Thank you.